What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about 15 pictures that prove Canada is like no other country. And as Americans, there are so many things about Canada that we just have no idea about and we don't understand. So today, I want to take a look at 15 random pictures that show how unique Canadian culture is. So let's take a look here, starting with a box of pizza, I guess. It says there are 10 Canadians in the room. It's been 10 minutes since this situation developed. No one is talking about it. The tension is mounting. Yeah, okay. This is a Canadian standoff, I guess. Nobody wants to take the last slice of pizza because all the Canadians in the room are being very polite. You better believe this would not be a problem here in America, especially if I was in the room. This would not be a problem at all. It'd be solved in 2 seconds. I would grab that slice so quick. But this really just demonstrates actually a big cultural difference between how you're supposed to behave in the United States versus Canada. I would actually be inclined to believe that Canadians, you don't want to be rude and take the last slice. In America, there's no discussion, there's no cordialness. It's like somebody's taking that slice. Might as well be you. Probably won't be. Someone's gonna take like 4 at once. They're gonna take, even though there's 10 people, you're taking out of proportion to what you deserve, and very American. So this is actually cool to see, actually. I can't even imagine living in that kind of world where people leave the last pizza slice. It's crazy. Next it says, has anyone tried unplugging the United States and plugging it back in? Yeah, anybody? Anybody tried that? I wouldn't mind. I think we could use a hard reboot right about now. We could use it, unplugging the US and plugging it back in. Oh, this is actually like a sign in Canada? Yeah. What is this for? What is this even? Is it just jokes? You guys are just hanging up signs, making jokes about us? Because that's funny. I approve. This says, Canadians. Ha ha ha. Dumb Americans using feet and inches. Also, Canadians, please stand 46 timbits apart. This is one of the greatest things I've ever seen. I understand this. A lot of Americans don't know about Tim Hortons or the legendary Timbits I've heard so much about. The little donut holes, right? So this was during the pandemic. You remember that? Remember that? The pandemic? Do you remember that? That thing that happened? Yeah. Imagine. This would have made it a little more tolerable, because this is funny. I think Canadians have a good sense of humor. The stand 6 feet apart stuff with the stickers on the ground, we had that as well. But this, please stand 46 timbits apart. That's really good. What is this? Passengers on a Canadian airline calmly wait their turn to exit the plane? I've never seen this in my life. It's like I'm watching a piece of historical footage of landing on the moon or something. That is how incredible this is to me. Look at everybody. This is what it's like on a Canadian airplane. Everybody is calmly waiting in their seat to get up and get their luggage and get out of the plane. I've never experienced this in my life. I've been on a couple, more than a couple airplane rides too. Everybody just when the plane lands, before the remove your seatbelt light comes on and it's even okay. People are standing up. People have one foot out in the aisle. They're opening up the overhead compartments. Doesn't matter if they're behind you, in front of you, whatever. It's chaos. I've never seen such an orderly exiting of an airplane. I think it's funny somebody filmed this and put it on the internet. I could watch this all day. That could like put me to sleep or meditate or something. Canadian authorities display 835 kilograms of seized drugs smuggled across the U.S. border into Canada. How the tables have turned. How the turntables have. Is that how you say it? Either way, it's so funny. It's not even funny. It's just makes you sigh. Makes you breathe out your nose. Ooh. And get snot everywhere. So one of the initial reasons for Trump even talking about tariffs in the first place was this idea that all this illegal drugs are coming from Canada to the United States. And it turned out it's like nothing. Literally, people have shown the data, and there's like next to nothing coming in from Canada, drugs into the U.S. Look at this! Look at this! Look at this! This is 833 kilograms of drugs from the U.S. into Canada. If anything, Canada should be outraged at the U.S. for transporting drugs into Canada. I don't remember ever seeing a picture like this coming from Canada. Man, and I would be inclined to believe the U.S. has much more of the drugs and the guns and stuff like that, right? Right? Okay. Canadian police officers meditating before they start their day. Is this standard Canadian practice? You guys, Canadian life is just, I'm trying to wrap my head around some of this stuff. Seems a lot more tranquil. Is that a good word for it? Peaceful. You got your police officers chilling out, meditating. God knows we could use this here in the United States. You've probably heard some of the stories, news stories of United States police officers' behavior towards people, and it's caught on video sometimes, and pretty big news. I think American police have a pretty bad reputation, actually, and maybe some aren't trained enough. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of great U.S. police out there. But incorporating a little morning meditation, I think in Japan they like stretch and do a whole routine. I didn't know you were doing this in Canada, if this is a thing. I really like that, actually. I think that's very good. The ever-elusive narwhal in the Canadian Arctic? This is real? Did anyone else think this was fake? Like, I've heard of a narwhal. It's like a fish with a big horn. I thought it was made up, like a unicorn. Next, you're going to tell me there's unicorns in northern Canada. Don't even start with that. I'm already wrapping my head around. Is this real? We're not playing a prank on me? April 1st is over, right? Yes. A narwhal exists? What? A big fish like a whale with a horn? This is a real thing? Did anyone else think this was made up? I thought this was a made up animal. How? I don't know. I might have to look that up later. I don't want to be fooled here. This is Canadians wildly celebrating in the street, but only when it's a red light? What? Only when it's a red light. Look at that. Look at them. Look at them. They cleared the way. They cleared the way like parting the sea. Who did that? Like Moses or something? Parted the ocean. They parted the Canadians down the road. The green light. What? This should be in like historical texts or something. Because this is like a mythological event. I can't imagine for a second anything remotely like this in the United States. So Canadians are like jumping up and down, partying in the road. But I don't know what the celebration is for, but when it's a green light and people gotta drive, everyone clears the way. You don't even have to be told. I am flabbergasted. My gasts have never been more flabbered than right now. Canada just seems like a different. You guys got something different going on there. Something to. Okay, ongoing Canadian Prime Minister, or outgoing. That's right, because he resigned and he's not the Prime Minister, but outgoing Prime Minister Justin Trudeau carrying his seat from the House of Commons. What's he sticking his tongue out? What's he doing? So he's got his seat from the House of Commons. This is him exiting the office. Why has he got his seat? Somebody stop him. Why he's got the seat? Is he allowed to do this? I think he's just he's over it. He doesn't care. Sticking his tongue out. He's like, so long. See ya. I'm done. I'm out of here. I watched a speech he made when he was resigning. Very heartfelt, sad, disappointed. Now he seems, seems over that. He seems like quite happy. Like, okay, I'm done. Goodbye. I haven't heard anything from Justin Trudeau since then. Maybe he's just kind of chillaxing somewhere with his House of Commons seat, I guess. The Netherlands bred this tulip to look like the Canadian flag. No kidding. This is amazing. This is incredible. This is beautiful. Canada, did Canadians know about this? I know the Netherlands and Canada have a special relationship because, gosh, I learned this in like a Heritage Minute. Canada helped liberate the Netherlands, if I'm not mistaken. And the Netherlands has been so thankful. I didn't know they genetically modified some kind of tulip to look like the Canadian flag. That's really cool, actually. That's really cool. Wow, I didn't even know you could do that. This is possibly the most Canadian tweet ever. Okay. Cars need a second. More friendly horn. I think I read that with the wrong inflection. Cars need a second, more friendly horn. Sometimes you want to honk politely at someone. I don't know who Norm Kelly is, but this is the most Canadian tweets. Cars need another horn that's more friendly. Sometimes you want to politely honk at You can tap it really softly and be like, bonk, bonk, like really quiet honk. Not that I'd talk about stuff that would never, ever be needed in the United States. A more friendly horn? American drivers are out of their mind. Crazy. They're like another species. I'm American, and I talk about American drivers like they're another species of animal or something. They're crazy, and I need my horn loud and proud to survive out there. A friendly horn. Yeah. Like if you're at a light and you just want to gently remind somebody it turned green. Yeah. This is a Canadian store not accepting U.S. currency. Sorry, we no longer accept U.S. currency. Because of all the recent events? To be honest, I didn't think any Canadian stores accepted U.S. currency. I would not expect that at all. In America, we aren't accepting Canadian currency. I don't think Canadian stores accept American dollars. Maybe this store was one of the few that was, and now they're not. And I'm not surprised. And it's nice that you ever did, because it's not expected. This is a Canadian in his natural habitat. Oh my. Look at this. Look at him go. How old is he? How's he doing that? You Canadians and your crazy hockey training. What is this teaching? Is this like, well, it's teaching balance, and look at him handling that puck. This is mesmerizing as well. How's he doing this? That's pretty cool. I don't know, like, does this actually translate into like skill on skates? And regardless, I need to stop like harping on the practicality of all this. It looks cool and it's amazing balance, which is good for hockey. What the heck? Maybe I'm just jealous. This is a 17-and-a-half-year-old Canadian black wolf. Why does he have that expression? He looks very friendly. Absolutely adorable sweetheart named Mata. This is a wolf? What is a Canadian black wolf? That's a thing? He does look... it's a girl. She looks very sweet and friendly. Almost looks like a dog. What is a Canadian... This is a Canadian black wolf? I didn't even... It looks massive, gigantic. I'd be terrified if she didn't look so cute. And finally, this is a Canadian photographer searches and photographs similar people. People who are not related to each other. This is a Canadian photographer took these pictures and they found people who are not related but look similar. These two look like they could be twins. They're not related? Wait a minute. Look at some of these. Wow. These all look like siblings. Oh my God. How does this photographer even find these people that look so similar? How do you even do that? And then, they look kind of similar. I mean, pretty similar. That's pretty close. Wow. Oh my God. The haircut, of course, but facial structure, everything. Even the smile. That's pretty cool that there's a Canadian who even did this project. What's her name? Francois Brunel. Got to give them credit for this. That's crazy. That's really fascinating, actually. Yeah, pretty similar. What the heck? All right. I think with that, we are at the end. 15 pictures that certainly prove how unique Canadian culture is. I learned a lot about Canada today. Honestly, at times, based on these photos, Canada seems like a different planet or something compared to how we do it here in America. And I'm talking about leaving that pizza slice. Never in a million years. Getting off the plane in an orderly fashion. Moving from the stoplights. Just a couple of things that are just like bonkers to me. But anyway, this was a ton of fun. If you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on any of these Canadian pictures or any thoughts you have or explanations. That'd be real fun to hear about. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Canada and learning about Canadian culture and seeing Canadian things I've never seen before, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.